Did you know that an average child has an approximate of 10,000 taste buds? It's like having a mini factory in your tongue, and each area has its own function. This is why taste is something much more complex than we imagine. Since the beginning of time, people have used their senses to survive, and one of the most important is the sense of taste. But what is taste? Taste is the perception of flavor caused by the excitation of our taste buds, our sense of smell, and in some cases, some memories. 1,000 years ago, taste was used as a way of surviving, tasting various types of food and knowing if it was good to eat or not. How do you think poison was discovered? Well, thanks to our ancestors who died tasting poisonous plants, we can have those lessons. Flavor plays an unappreciated role in the evolution of Homo sapiens. But a big driver is a dietary revolution, from vegetarian to omnivore, from raw to cooked food. These go hand in hand with the evolution of tools, which were all about food, killing it, preparing it, cutting it up, and as tools improve, so does food. So, although we have a weaker sense of smell than many other mammals, for us smell plays a much more powerful role in flavor. 60% of what is detected as flavor comes from smell, and the other 40% come from taste. Because you agree that if you cover your nose and eat something, you will really not taste almost anything of what you are eating, right? Well, furthermore, when someone asks you how something tastes, your answer could be good or delicious. But if you really want to get specified, that answer could be broken down in a number of ways. 5 in fact. There are 5 universally accepted basic tastes, which are sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. Let's start with sweetness. Sweetness is often described as a pleasure taste, which we can perceive at the tip of our tongue. Next, we have salty taste. Salty is a necessary component in the human diet and enhances the flavor of food. We can perceive saltiness at the front edges of our tongue. Another taste is sourness, that detects acidity. We can perceive sourness on the sides of our tongue. In fourth place, we have bitter. The taste of bitter is very important for our survival because many toxic compounds have a bitter taste. We can perceive bitterness at the back of our tongue. Finally, we have umami. Umami is the most recently identified and accepted of the basic tastes. Umami is a Japanese word for good flavor, which was identified by the chemist Kikunae Ikeda. We can perceive this taste at the central part of our tongue. Nevertheless, it doesn't mean that food only contains one of these 5 flavors. The flavor of food is a combination in different proportion of these 5 tastes, where one dominates. Okay, we know about the history, the 5 tastes, but how does it work? The functionality has a lot of anatomy behind. However, I will explain it easier. Imagine that you have an apple, and you give the first bite. What do you feel? Well, what are you feeling is an electric nervous impulse caused by this chemical substance that the apple has. The electrical nervous impulse will travel through your taste buds, then to the different nerves of your brain until reaching the brain, where the relationship will be made. What is it? What flavor is it? And do I like it or not? This information, it will be stored in your brains. And that's why the next time you have an apple, you will know whether to eat it or not. Usually, we will make a relationship with a memory. That's why there are food that remind us to the great stew that we tried in our grandmother's house. Do you imagine? Our big brains allows to tap into a range of memories, thoughts, emotions, and associations. Now, let's talk about Mexicans. Mexicans love spicy food. It burns, it makes you cry, irritates the stomach, and could cause a chronic gastritis. Anyway, and leaving aside the famous albur, Mexicans love chili. Yet, it seems that we cannot live without it. Surprisingly enough, a study by the Professor Paul Rosin from University of Pennsylvania revealed that the love for spicy food is not something natural. Animals, in fact, do not eat spicy. They are not designed to resist capsaicin, which is a molecule that produces a burning sensation. In fact, like the rest of the members of the animal kingdom, the human tongue is made of in such a way that rejects the taste of spicy. Thus, when it comes into contact with a food of this characteristic, it sends a signal to the brain, similar as if the tongue was burning. Spicy does not generate flavor, only burning. When the body detects something that causes pain, it releases endorphins and opioids, which are responsible for neutralizing this pain, also causing a sensation of pleasure. This means that eating spicy is a mixture between pleasure and pain. Sometimes this can be addictive. To conclude with, as you have already realized, the sense of taste is much more complex than we imagine. And as you can see, there is science everywhere, and there is science even behind taste. There is a phrase from the Disney movie Ratatouille said by the chef Gusteau, which summarizes the essence behind taste. There is excellence around you. You need only to be aware to stop it and savor it. If there is one thing we have to learn from Gusteau, is how to stop and enjoy the small things, especially if there is food involved. Thank you very much.